Ryan Nugent-Hopkins obviously steals the show with his hat trick. First time an Oiler has had a hat trick this season, which is just a crazy thing to say. But he seems to have sort of found himself once again as a centerman at the NHL level. I know last year was kind of like the numbers at least weren't good when he was being used as a centerman, and it was like, okay, in his 30s now, is Nuge just going to be more of a full-time winger? Well, over the last couple of weeks, he's been a revolution for the Oilers. Him and Arvidsson seem to have found something as well. I guess I just kind of want to talk about how pivotal of a piece he can be. If this isn't like a stroke of luck, and if Nuge can keep this going into the playoffs, having a legitimate driver like that on the third line and this duo with Arvidsson, it totally changes the dynamic of this forward group. If you go McDavid, Draisaitl, and a really damn good Nugent-Hopkins on line 3.
Yeah, especially for the matchups, right? I agree. Yeah. And, I think it's been a tough year for Nuge. I think it's been a tough year for a lot of guys. I think it's that hangover, and I know it's a long time ago, and you don't want to keep going back to it. But it kind of, for me, it's not a coincidence that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is finding his best game right now down the stretch into the playoffs. We've talked about this before. They have an internal calendar. They have an internal compass that directs them towards the end of the season, into the playoffs, and you start to find they increase their intensity each and every game going into it. This team's been great down the stretch over the last 4 or 5 years. They've been a real solid team that usually finds themselves into the playoffs on a roll. So, that notwithstanding, I just think for Nugent-Hopkins, he's the longest tenured Oiler. He understood that with McDavid and Draisaitl in the lineup, there was going to be more responsibility on his shoulders. This isn't an unfamiliar position for him. I mean, before those two guys came, he was the guy that was leading the charge, and he was the guy that was expected to do everything as the top centerman on the team. So this is a position he's been in before, but good to see him finding his game. And I agree with you, Ty. I think that the center position allows him to be a little more open with where he's going on the ice. Obviously, he's always had that defensive conscience, and rightfully so. He's always been a 200-foot player, but it's opened up the opportunity offensively for him. And I think that's what most people, myself included, think that was lacking in his game a little bit, was just that urgency on the offense where, hey, you're a really skilled player. You can do more offensively. You don't have to always make the safe play. And the puck's going in for him right now. So that's just a real positive booster for him that I think will carry through for the rest of the season to the playoffs for him. And you know what? It does give them that option to have him in the 3-hole. I still kind of feel he might find himself up on wing, especially with Trent Frederick coming into the lineup, who potentially could play that 3-hole for the centerman. I think they want to try him there. He's also a winger, versatile there. But you know what? If they want to keep him in the 3-hole and he's playing like this, I mean, that's the perfect situation for me, is that you've got 3 solid lines that can all hurt you. And a fourth line, when you look at the fourth line, that's going to be tenacious, going to be fast, great checking line that the details of the game are there. That's how you win.
And we had this conversation earlier in the year when Nuge was on a heater. I kind of forget exactly when it was, but it was like, you need to remember that even 25 goal scorers are not just simply going to show up and score a goal every 4 games and just piece together a 25-goal season. Like, you're going to get runs like this. And granted, Nuge is super, super hot. This was eventually the first hat trick that any Oiler has had this season. But anyone who complains about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, it's like $5.1 million can get you 20 to 25 goals. And, oh yeah, as of late, he's been producing a lot of this offense away from McDavid and Draisaitl in the Oilers lineup. So it's one of those things I really want to chat with Louie about, is just how pivotal of a piece Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can be in this Oilers forward lineup. But Saturday was the Nuge show. That was his first of the game. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.